Hello, sir. Good morning.
Wait.
We are live. AI is live. Focus. Amish is on. Talk to us.
Yes.
Talk to us now. You are live now. So what's going on now? We just seen you coming in to join the protest.
Well, we are just. You can see the demand. You see the demand. All we are doing is a peaceful process to demand the right things be done. Our country cannot continue this way, where we have become negative in everything. We must now do the right thing. And that right is that small countries of the world are trying to do things rightly. You saw how even Ghana had to recall a high commissioner because of he did the wrong thing during primary. And then the giant of Africa is the one that wants to do things wrongly. What is wrong in just a simple process of transmitting votes properly? Simple transmission. It's not a difficult thing. Allow the elections to go through the normal process. Whoever wins will accept. So why are you bringing all sorts of confusion?
I want to ask you a question. Last week they protested, and last night the Senate issued a statement saying that they are going to have an emergency plenary sitting tomorrow. Doesn't that make a difference?
That's what we are trying to make sure they make that difference.
So are you coming here tomorrow to protest as well?
No. When they sit tomorrow, after they are sitting tomorrow,
political parties are lagging behind. It's as if it's the Nigerian situation that is working. They are working towards this action.
We are working.
Protesting.
We are doing that. That's what it's good you are seeing me.
Well, there's always a first time for everything. Let's just get on that side with people. He's here for the people.
Yeah.
Media, be behind the police. Be behind the police.
Can you allow me to say? Please. You guys are not objecting to that.
Is that mic working? That mic is not working. That mic is not working. That mic is not working.
I don't want to talk to you.
Can you stay back? Let him go and speak to the head of the
I don't know say that
You did this.
Please, just give room.
We're here.
Let me block here. Please, nobody should cross this way. This your phone, sir, please.
We're here. Still demanding, still in the field demanding for leadership. Everyone is here. What's the demand? They direct them away.
It's okay, sir. It's okay, sir. It's okay, sir. Yes, sir. It's okay, sir.
It's okay here.
Okay, yes, sir.
It's okay here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Freedom coming by struggle. Freedom come by struggle. What's the Let's talk to us. What is the danger in allowing the status quo as it is now to remain?
Can we hear us answer the question? Can you just address us, address the people? He said let him address the people before. Then you go.
Well, let me stand by thanking passionate Nigerians that have come out this morning to be able to be part of this just demand for free, transparent election process. I thank all of you. We must have a better and a new Nigeria where all of us can be proud to say we are Nigerians. Our demand here is just, it's simple, it's not a complicated thing. That's why we're here this morning. The police have advised us that we cannot go beyond this gate. As law-abiding citizens, we are accepting that, but we need to address our concerns about this country.
Take your concern to the
what we want
people
is an electoral process that is transparent from beginning to finish. Our demands about the amendment is simple. Let us have an amendment that allows first, let no qualification of people who want to contest the election. And that qualification must be advertised. So if anybody says, I went to this primary school, I went to this secondary school, I went to this university, people are supposed to know about that. And that process has to continue through party primaries and everything. And finally, the election must be transmitted electronically from the polling booth. Direct. We don't want any transit point any longer. Let people watch it. That's what is happening in South Africa. That's happening in Ghana. That's happening everywhere. The giants of Africa have refused to be giants in anything. We cannot continue to shame Africa. We now want giants of Africa to be true giants of Africa. And the only way we can do it is to live a transparent, honest life, starting from our election processes.
So what is the danger if Nigeria goes into election with the current state of the Electoral Act?
You don't need to tell the danger. The danger you saw it in 2023. The danger was clear. We have suffered the danger. That's what we have suffered before. We don't want any glitch again. Glitch is finished. We want things to come happen directly. No more glitch.
Any other question?
Okay.
Yes.
Sir, just can you tell us, give a summary of why we are here?
I've thanked patriotic Nigerians that came out this morning in a peaceful protest to be able to tell our National Assembly members that are
now?
We want giants of Africa to be true giants, not giants in doing the wrong thing, but giants in doing the right thing. And that must start that we are a democratic nation, and if that is what we are, our electoral process must be transparent. Our electoral process must be free and fair. I've said it several times. If you want to be, answer His Excellency. If you want to answer distinguished, if you want to answer honorable, the process through which you come into office must be honorable, it must be distinguished, and it must be excellent.
Excellent.
And that process starts by, first, your qualification, which is stipulated in the law. You must show us the primary school you went to, the secondary school, the university. That's where it starts. So you're qualified to even contest that election. You go through all the processes of campaigning, through where we're going to have normal campaign, debates, everything, because you're offering yourself to the people. And finally, on that election day, the result must be transmitted from the polling booth to the IRF, where the collection, where everybody will be seeing it. That's in real time. That's what happened in South Africa. That was happened in Ghana. That's what happened on other African countries. The giant of Africa should be giant now. Not giant in doing the wrong thing. We want it to be a true giant.
Okay, sir, but it's like they didn't allow you to enter.
Yes, the police said we cannot enter. As law-abiding citizens, we are not part of rascality. We decided to obey that law, but we have conveyed our message to those who are supposed to know. And that message is clear. Let's have transparent election process. We're not asking for anything. It's something simple. It's for their own future, for the future of their own children. Today they are senators, the honorables, some people are in power, but we are talking about what will endure for the future of the country. We need this country, we need the unity, we need the peace.
What is the implication of this application of the Senate on 2027 election?
You have seen the implication in 2023 election. They want to end glitch. No more glitch.
Now that we've been denied access into the National Assembly, what next step are we going to take?
We've conveyed our message. Our message is not known to them. Message is known to everybody. That's what you are carrying now. And we follow it up.
So why do you think the Senate president said that there are no mandatory results? What do you think? Because they want to rig the election or?
I said you've seen the consequence in 2023. We don't want that repeat.
Excellency, sir, the Senate president is saying that
Scams! Our vote! More scams! Our vote! More scams! More scams! More
Nigerian people! Nigerian people! Of the greatest, 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 of the greatest Nigerian people! We are citizens, we are not slaves. We are citizens, we are not slaves. And we're here today making demands Nigerians from all walks of life. And we're saying that indeed we want electronic transmission of results. And I'm speaking today, and I'm saying, we do not want situation where senators are coming out and making press conferences. Neither do we want situation where they are coming out and doing media rounds or Twitter spaces. And here, I'm saying to you, they have the constitutional power and authority to indeed ensure that there's real-time electronic transmission of results. That is all Nigerians are asking for. The Senate president is saying that there are places where there are no network. If they don't have, which is a shame, by the way, Nigerians will provide that network. If INEC can register everywhere, they can also provide those networks. And we're saying indeed that the voices of the people should be heard.
Thank you. Of the greatest and the greatest and super greatest Nigerian people. Great Bobo, great Baba, great B. I want to talk, I want to say, I want to speak, I want to. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in the history of the Nigerian people, we have never, we've seen people coming out But this coming out is the one of the most greatest coming out because His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is here with us.
The president of the people.
And the reason why His Excellency is here is to show you the capacity of energy. He was in Enugu, he was in Asaba, he was also in Delta State. Yesterday he was in Kano. Today is he here to solidarize with you. Tell me how many of the presidential candidates has come out to come and support you in this regard? Right. Two, the issue is about the lives and properties of Nigerian people. They have held us in perpetual poverty for too long. The only thing that we hold on to ourselves is having a credible election. It's credible election that will give us credible leaders. We are saying that we must have credible election, and that means transmission of results from the polling unit directly to the RF. Where they used to manipulate is at the collation center. We say no to collation center. We say direct transmission of results. We say we must have credible election in Nigeria. No transmission of results in election. No election. Election must be done credibly. We must have credible leaders in Nigeria. Great Nigerian people.
Back here tomorrow morning. Dr. Tanko, the issue is not that no credible election and no credible. What did you say? No, there has to be transmission. It's sacrosanct. Let me tell you something. The fact is that the National Assembly has the power to pass it, and they must pass it. Yes. The same way they did their 2/3 when it came to rivers, they must do that same 2/3. So we are not saying no. There will be election. There will be a mandatory electronic transmission of results real time. They must listen to the people because the people are the ones who employ them to be in the National Assembly. That's what it's called.
Let me tell you. Well, on behalf of other civil society coalitions, the lawyers in defense of democracy are here.
Without elections, there is no democracy. The current administration supported the June 12th movement. It was about free and fair elections. Do we have Democrats who are afraid of peaceful elections in Nigeria? Nigerians, if this... Are you okay? But the most important thing is whether they pass it or not. We must mobilize against 2027. Tomorrow, National Assembly is reconvening and they will meet us here. Until the right thing is done. We thank you, our leaders who came to show solidarity with us, and we say, Aluta continua.
Well, on behalf of other coalitions of civil society that are here, I represent lawyers in defense of democracy. My name is Barrister Kere Kingdom. We were here on Friday. We are here again today. We will be here tomorrow. We are saying simple, leveraging on what our leader, the president of the masses, have said, Mr. Peter Obi, we are saying no to wrongful exercise of description. We are saying that in this electoral act 2026, there must be a compulsory provision that election result must be transmitted from the very polling booth to online, real time, so that they can view it from IRF. We are saying no wrongful exercise of description. The description that Yakub Mahmoud exercised when he leveraged on the current electoral act, how did he exercise it? Objection was raised at the International Conference Center. He ignored his own regulation. The regulation said if an objection is raised, you will suspend everything and resolve it. When objection was raised, he ignored it and continued and delivered a wrong result, a fraudulent result. So we are saying no wrongful exercise of description. The Senate must know that Nigerians are saying no and will resist wrongful exercise of description. The issue of whether election should be transmitted to the IRF must not be left at the description of the INEC chairman. That is the message. It must not be left at the description of INEC chairman. Let us, Nigerian people, let us no more glitches, no more glitches, no more glitches. That's our message. Are you okay?
No, I have not gotten your thought. I can't.
Other people will give it to you. He will give it to you. He will give it to you. All we said is very simple. Election must be transmitted from the polling booth to the RF, where everybody will see it. Election must take its process from the beginning of qualification to the campaigns, to the debates. Everything must be done in manner that we will show we are exemplary as giant of Africa. This giant must now rise and be giant. We cannot continue to be giant in doing the wrong thing. We want to be giant in doing the wrong thing now. You know, we must dismantle our criminality and show that we are now a nation that will show light to Africa.
Thank you, sir.
This way.
They say politics is local. You want the Senate to do the right thing. They can't threaten them for their office, knowing that you don't have the power to command them for office. The only people who have the power to take them out of office are people from their constituencies. Go and organize those people from their constituency. They don't need to come Abuja. Maybe they just gather from their various villages. They do the same thing. And see if you no go catch them. Now they shout Akpabio. In people where go vote and come back, they don't even know all these things they happen. Like, make it make sense. This is democracy. It's about the people. Una go just gather on ourselves, on our friends, and everybody where they look for, where they create content, me they come they shout, and thinking that we are speaking for the people. I don't just understand. You know, I understand that where the Tankos and the Aishas of this world are coming from. That's their source of living. This is the way they survive. It's sad. Very, very sad that when they do the same thing, we think things are going to change. They listen to all these hungry men and women. Everybody hustle for himself. There's one other video I saw. That is one. See there. That is hustlers.
Okay. My name is Oruche Precious, popularly called Mama P.
Okay.
All right.
Why are you here causing confusion for Nigerians?
I'm not causing confusion for Nigerians. I'm here to destroy the confusion Akpabio is trying to cause in Nigeria.
Yes.
That's why we are here. It's plain and simple. We just want our votes to count. We are saying that the mandatory transmission of electronic transmission of results should be upheld. That's all. Because they know why they removed it. They removed it because they want to rig. It's not like if it's there, they will not try to rig. They know it to be harder for them. That's why they quickly removed it. So we are here to say we are observing you and we won't let you do that. There's been a lot of criminalities in this 10th assembly. So much. You all remember what happened during the tax reform policies and all that. We are even senators. We are shouting that it is not what we deliberated on that is being passed. It is not, the same thing is happening. What kind of criminality is this? It's high time we flush all of them out.
They do the same thing now.
And that's why we are here today to say now. Our vote must count. And in Peter Obi words, he said, let there be no illusion. The criminalities witnessed in 2023 will not be tolerated 2027. Nigerians must begin to rise, and that is why we are rising.
What's the My God.
We'd rather be.
Yes, everybody should reconvene.
So, if he came out to say that, why is he calling for an emergency meeting? Why is there an emergency plenary for tomorrow? And then one of the senators, I can't place if it is Dixon, that said he confronted the Senate president and asked him, what did we just approve? Is it transfer or transmit? And the Senate president, according to him, lied that it was transmit. Abaribe, that it was transmit. Why are you changing the terms? Why are you acting like a criminal? Akpabio is acting like a criminal. I don't want to call him a criminal. If I was not a good Christian, I would have called him a criminal. It needs to stop now.
This is why I look at these people and laugh. I question their common sense. Let's put education aside. There's no one senator that has power to change anything. None. It doesn't matter. Even the president. Akpabio doesn't have the power, singularly power, to change anything that the House of Rep, because the House of Representatives is the heart of democracy. That's where the people speak from. So if indeed the House of Reps say this is what they want, only one senator cannot do it. Mama, please, I've waited that they call you. If I were you, this process now Oshomole village would happen. Go to Oshomole constituency. Okay? Let all these protests, make it they happen for where the people that actually had the power to threaten these men to do the right thing does, which is their constituencies. They talk rubbish that means you don't even understand how the system works. Guess what? The Senate go pass them. Right? Should they go put them for Bola Tinubu decks? The man no go sign into law. He will be stupid to do it. He will wait for his second time when they go in Gusana. That's exactly what Buhari did. People now they forget. That's my problem. Of course, everyone are content creator, and that's my problem against these people. Take your content creation to the people. Go sit down with the villager. That's those are the people that can bring the change. We not just gather on our friends. They shout. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Lives are at stake, poor healthcare, insecurity, hunger, starvation, and you will not let us vote 2027. I'm an advocate for rig and die. Yes.
Nathaniel, good morning. You don't get respect. Your call, you don't greet. They attack me. Yeah? You don't get respect. And that sometimes you sound so naive and empty, but thinking you are smart. For your information, National Assembly belongs to the people, not the senator. It's called the People's Parliament. Now, wow. Yeah. All right. Make I educate you make I use this opportunity to educate you. Nat. Okay. Make I educate you. They call it the people's house. Make me Nadia go start from. You are fucking right. Absolutely spot on. It is the people's house. So if it is the people's house, why you and your friends go together there? Una get the house past the people within my village. Una get the house past the people within Yobe. Una get the house past the people within Anambra. So instead of you to take whatever your grievances is and go and consult with the other people that also have the same stakeholders before you go to begin shout for public, it's a common sense. And by the way, not be you elect those Senate there. Let's even go to the technicality of it. Only you now agree say na rig themselves in there, bought themselves in there. So what gave you the effort to say you go actually fit do anything by just making noise? Only you and your friends. And to purpose of education, the Senate don't necessarily represent you. They represent the stakeholders, the rich, the criminal that criminals of their constituencies. To understand that, you have to go back to the basics, the people that pioneer what presidential democracy or representative democracy is all about, which is the United States of America. So the Senate House is not necessary for everybody, but for the rich among us. Where democracy lies is the House of Representatives. I understand you, they confuse yourself because all of them, they want complex. Okay? But what they stand for actually differs. There's differences between these two people. House of Representative is the core of what democracy is supposed to be built on, because that's where the people, because now those people, they represent the vast majority of the people. Okay? So, and if you actually want to put their ass to test, you want to make sure they do what they are supposed to do. You no go Abuja, go they shout. Go to their constituency where they will be elected back in. You cannot stop Akpabio just because you go in office to Abuja, they shout. If people say this na him, then what? Just nothing you can do about it. So the people who say politics is local, they are not stupid. So if you actually want to do anything regarding that, you have to go back to your constituencies and do the work. That's what organizing is all about. Get at least 50 people from each constituency, make them they call their phone number. If they no go react, you're not going to do that. That's why we now they sleep. 2023 pass, 2024 pass, 2025 pass, 2026. When we say now tomorrow be election, what do you think? You think if I did power, me say go to sleep? The only way you can protect your vote, the only way you can protect your vote is for you to actually educate and empower the voter to say, come, this is your life, make sure it counts. They no go come Abuja. You did they say you just say na by TV and platform now you go take get power. They are hungry people, yes, I said it. If you are not hungry, you will go and do the work. No, they look for quick pay. I know what I'm talking about. I didn't miss my word. They talk as I tell you, I've been Nigerian. You cannot take now my story. This is my story that is unfolding. You know, people tell me about waiting I they see live. That is what Akpabio and Co did. How do you prove that? And I said, let's say yes, they did it. The only way you can do anything to them is to go and make sure their people never voted them to come back. That's the only thing you can do. Like, I don't just understand. Yes, they did it. They don't rig the election. Are they not sitting there? Like you they talk as if say waiting the happen. No, it no happened last year, 2 years ago. Like since when they bomb me, this is exactly what is happening. Nothing they change. The only thing that is changing is just the players and technology. The game still remains the same. That's why I asked Prince that tomorrow, if their generation eventually get power, waiting be their plan. They won't continue this system that we have. If they continue this system that we have, there's no way the people can benefit. I live in the United States of America, where the representative democracy was born. Forget the charade that you see on TV. That's what they call how Noam Chomsky they classify what we see every day on national television. You don't make me the the verse. What's the name of manufacturing consent? That's what it is. So there's a reason during election, all these men had to go back to what? To their village. Okay? Because that's the only place you can displace them. You can actually treat their fuck up. If you think Tinubu will actually go ahead and sign into law because they make noise for street, my brother, you don't understand how your country has been running for the past 30 years. Go back to during Buhari era. Now the same thing that we're talking about. When did they eventually do something? Not when they come off for office with the belief that it will work against Tinubu. Still, they failed. Now only the senators then suffer am. If you make I just refresh your the history of yesterday. When Buhari eventually, when the Senate eventually carry out little change into the Electoral Act of 2022, what happened to them? Vast majority of them will come back. Now, you think these people will do it just because you are screaming? Good luck. So you think say na to the shout, to be just they bounce from one headline to another. Now you understand what they go on. Because you think say these men are foolish. And I'm waiting on my problem with that. You don't know how to actually size your opponent. It is a competition. You have your opponent is clearly spared out for you. You think he's stupid because in go Turkey, he won't fall, and they say in the sick. But what you fail to understand that billionaires who are more fucking educated than you, who are more wealthy, who are more skin in the game than you, are putting billions to support the person who won't die. That should make you think that it not be because you did TV they shout. Now go get you power. It's more to that. So if you think now waiting you they see for TV. When Mandani, the recent one, I'm talking about New York, because they make speech at TV, everybody they shout. They have over 20,000 volunteers on the street every fucking day. I am not telling you what I read in the book. I did there. I was in New York. I did see what they happen. The MAGA movement had to go from door to door. They adopt what they call Princeton strategy, which in the Nigerian term, word strategy. They were going from word to word for 4 years straight. You say now to they make noise for all this going on, I go give you change. This is real, my brother. This is matter of life and death, not just to you, but to them also. That's what una know they understand. You don't actually sit down and size up your opponent, how far he or she can go to make sure he gets power or he maintain the power that he already has. That's why una no one change in our strategy. People tell you say na turn by turn. Like, just sit down and analyze turn by turn what turn by turn means. It means don't just die. Not just die. That's the only way it will not get to you. So in other words, just go sit down, don't do anything. When the time comes, you'll be put there. You will just gather on ourselves because they articulated and speak English, but they make noise. That's it. No. If you really want to change the system, the house that you call the people house, take your case to the people. You just said it. The National Assembly is people's house. So why are you disturbing the street? Take your case to the people. Because those people were there, so they were sent from various constituencies. Don't be Abuja people put them there. This might sound very like a beer parlor, understandable, but that's the fact. Regardless of think how educated we are, how innovative we are with our technology, you cannot get to power without the people. But unfortunately, money can be used to substitute the people, can be used to buy the people's vote, which is exactly our case today. Which is exactly our case. So until you will decide to use that money to go and organize the people, because it's not cheap to organize the people. Yes, I tell you, say you must have at least 20,000 volunteers on the street. It will also cost you money to actually mobilize those 20,000 volunteers. Obi know this. Every one of these motherfuckers knows that. That for you to actually get what you want, it is going to be by the people. And it's a long route, but most expensive one too. You want mobilize people 24 hours to election. Within the people with the power, what do you think they will do? You just there. You never talk anything. Everything what I don't tell you, so you are just no one you can counter. You just they call names. They call me names. You're either naive or being mischievous or spying nonsense. What does that even mean? I just give you instances. You'll be saying the same thing since 2023 that these people they be thief, they rig election. Yes, you are fucking right. And you know goddamn where they will do it again. But instead, you did the same thing will make them rig them again, and you think it is going to change. Man, who is more stupid? You think if they transmit a result live, now go make you, now go give you the winning. Have you ever seen that thing? Which person result they won't transmit first? No be person will vote. So if they don't allow the people who won't vote come out, you go get the result which you want, or you don't understand what they call defranchisement is. It's one of the most effective strategy the Nigerian politicians use. Disenfranchisement. INEC come and tell you say about 90 million people register to vote. But as we have it now, only 25 million voted. Where's the remaining 62 million people? What happened to them? That is where the opposition should spend billion to research and make sure that doesn't happen again. It doesn't matter how transparent the process is going to be. If you have less than 60 million people participated in that election, it will rig for your own plain sight, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it is you name one they call these una leaders from 2023 till now, and you think insult they change power. My brother, if I did inside my bulletproof Jeep, you can insult me all you fucking want. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to hear you. No be Oshomole carry in babe, enter private jet, they do matter everybody they shout. That's all you can do. And that's all you can do because you are selfish. You refuse to go where the numbers are. You refuse to go and do the work. Imagine say all this noise where all this hashtag government is, if to say then we're able to just stay in the communities. Just stay in the community, put their what they believe on every day for that past 3 years. Now all these things will go they shout. No. But because you know you failed to do what you are supposed to do, so, and because that's which you fail to do, it is what they are going to take advantage of. All they need to do, all those in power need to do now to mark 1 billion naira each come out for every local government. Share them. They get their result. They go that another result they go transmit. And that is because there's nothing you can do about it. Me and you know. None of these leaders, when push comes to shove, you go see them for Nigeria. You know that. I know that. So who couldn't deceive himself? If Bege happened today, Obi will address you from London or from Dallas. I guarantee you that. If push comes to shove, they will address you from their foreign base. Don't be all this way with the talk so. So it's all fun and game until when the D-Day come. Presidential election is like an Olympic sport. Now every 4 years, you know, the day where you do this, where you finish this contest, you don't already know the next one date. We knew there is going to be election 2027 from 2023. My brother, nobody they wake up the year of the Olympic, win Olympics, unless you are special. It has never happened. Usain Bolt is one of the greatest sprinter human has ever seen. And that is because nature also favored him. Is 6'4" tall, 6'4" foot tall, and he has the frequency of a dwarf for the lack of a word. Why speed is all about strength and frequency. But guess what? The first time when he go Olympic, he no even make semi-finals. Because now competition. If you know they train, your opponents they train. The party in power are waiting to spend their billions if to the election. You said they wait. When you know you don't have monopoly of violence, they do. When you know you don't even have infinity money, they do. But as stupid as you are, you where they follow them, you cannot just see, say, call. These people are in one accord. Politics is the only industry where the stakeholders, the rivals come together and write their own rules. This law where they shall make them change. So no be to no go right down. No be about you right down. Now them collectively, the Nigerian elite, now they right down. They don't know say all these things they when they write down, but there's a reason why they will have to allow some loopholes to be pronounced. For once in a while, they will give you victory. Again, you just did. You never even say make any point. You are just power. Just to talk nonsense. You should be ashamed of what you are found out of your mouth. Anyway, I don't blame you because you have to work for your data allowance from your paymaster. See, you never talk anything. And that's the fucking problem. That's why when I ask Prince Adewale, what did they go do different from their grandparents? Yeah, I say, oh, now leadership be the problem. And that's an insult. A leader is telling you that now them be the problem. But people just cannot say that. Now, if you say now leadership is the problem, and because you know never did leadership position now, and you think when you say leadership is the problem, we'll look at those in power and say, okay, yes, they are the real problem. We should not focus on you. Great. I like that. But guess what? The people, the ordinary people, the 135 dimensional poor people, the illiterates from every village, the majority need leadership. Go and let those people by educating them, informing them, and see if they no go take those men out of power out easily and put you there. But no, that is a very long route to take. That's a marathon, because they know they might not even live to benefit that if they actually put their resources and energy there, because it takes time and resources. Nigeria is still an Angwarian society. Would they deceive ourselves with grammar? Because we get access to phone, internet, we think that's no vast majority of Nigerians are say in Angwarian era. All of us feel be farmer. The number one problem now how I go take chop, where I go sleep. That is the number one problem of vast majority of Nigeria. They are all this one where would they thought they speak grammar, so they have no clue. They don't know. That's not their problem. So until you go to those people and let them understand, yes, that even that is small food, they know they see chop, so this is why. And for it to stop, this is how it takes time. That's what organizing entails. That's why when you tell people organize, they go, yeah. Nobody say they don't know the meaning, because they know it takes work. But they're not ready to do it. There's a shortcut too, right? Serve the NGOs, serve the higher powers, they'll put you on the front line, organize people around you, and people are not good. Yeah. Bumi famously said on Dr. Dameji, there's no way you can progress more than your environment. You cannot articulate what is beyond your understanding. That's exactly that's our situation. Right? Carter Wilson said in the Miseducation of Black Negro, he said, once you can control a man thinking, don't fucking worry about his action. So they have miseducated us to think that leadership, building a community, building a society is about individual. So they build heroes and heroines before us for us to worship. And for that reason, any leader when if you travel to America, they say, "Go, that person is not qualified." Any leader when if you speak the grammar, we know that they say that. So until you re-educate yourself, that you cannot grow beyond who you are, where you are coming from, that collectively we are still poor. It has nothing to do with money or material things. We are not there yet, where we will be thinking about material, the luxury of material. No, we are not there yet. Collectively, we are still poor. Okay, so and if a leader cannot actually see that, he will come to tell you, "I can make change." What do you want change? This is 2026. Power doesn't reside one. Nobody has the power to make any change. Regardless how they want to paint Trump as a strong marriage, it takes orders. So power is negotiated. Just like for all of a sudden, waiting in Nigeria, citizens of Nigeria, shout out to Comrade Omori, will say, "Oh, power, they know they take out. You give power." Yes. Who gives the power? The people. Why would the people give you power? Because you are part and parcel of them. Not just because you can articulate their problem. No. So these people chose themselves to say they want to solve a problem. We never choose them. So nobody is giving them the power they think they can get right now. My grandma, then they speak, but the understanding of it is very hard, even though we know how to speak them fluently. So, Nat, if you don't understand what the Bible says about there's time for everything, those men where they insult, so they know. That's why once they get to power, they return to their comfort zone and wait for the late hours. And you foolish opposition too, you dey follow them play the game. Just because Bola Tinubu need to appear for TV, just because Bola Tinubu need to go campaign, just because Bola Tinubu won't die, una self they wait. Nah. Because when the right time comes, money will do the work, not the people. For you to get the people to do the work, you have to be with them 24/7. If I even want to break this conversation down to each opposition party, the obedient movement, for instance, which Obi claims to be is bigger than any political party, I agree with him. But Nat, if I go your village, your local government now, will I see any structure, any office that I can go and get any information about obedience or about Obi philosophy or about the ideology or their policy? No. But they'll come they wait when the election won't reach before they're going to make that move. My brother, you don't have the resources to do that when it is a competition and your opponent clearly has infinity of those resources. So what is your choice? Your choice is to play in the long balls. Make sure you open that office. After they rig you out of election, you have the right to mourn, to cry, to do whatever you have to do. But you don't have the right to stay there forever. Use your 3 months cry. But from that 3 months on, make sure every local government have an emblem of what? The obedient movement. That's what structure is about. Because at least 1 person, 2 person go to that place. That will constantly remind the people of that locality that there is a better option. That's the only way you can compete with people who have more resources than you. Now, common sense. Una go come every election cycle, they insult everybody. May the cities una way. And until because una sabi insult people go just do follow una. Those days are gone. In case you don't understand what times we is, it's gone. 2023, after I now say the rig will finish, we now go Chicago, go sit down. They find waiting no day Chicago. As soon as I come from Chicago, so now say na law, they defeat na for that one, the rig are fine. Now I can't say, oh, he's not our president. That's not. How long are you going to do that? 3 years? And you think when you know that it's going to be a competition against the same people. And guess what? If I did it as true, I would do it again because I succeeded and there was no repercussion necessarily. And the way I see these people are moving now, it's not that they have anything different. They are doing the same thing. So why would I do it again? Now, common sense, now human nature, anywhere in the world, that's a human thing. That's why you don't elect people into power, position of power because they are good. There's nothing like that. Make sure there is a law and order. Take care of anybody that go astray. No, because that person good. Only see, again, you just they talk now. You never see any. I've never make any point or counter my point. Only you they agree to disagree. They argue with yourself. It's a shame that at your age and legal of exposure. Actually, say I know they expose. Say I don't know anything. So you don't they admit say I'm exposed. You don't know that real power belongs to the people. You are so like how dumb are you? Power, you said, belong to the people. So why would Congo they shout for Abuja? Now Abuja the people they stay. Like when time you make statement, think am first. I don't know where now you they regurgitate which you they hear, but use your common sense, think am to see what me and you they talk. Who is actually making sense? Power belong to the people. You go Abuja, go they shout. And if the people where they Abuja won't get power, they go to their people. Like how dumb can you be? You say power belong to the people. Fantastic. You just because they name that building, people as you go there, go they shout. Whereas the people who occupy that house, they occupy if they want power, they go to where the power belongs to the people. Where there are people there, Akwa Ibom. So what you go to shout for Abuja for? Go and meet the people where you say the power belongs to. I'm using your logic. But it's also an illusion. Power never belongs to the people. That's an illusion. Okay? That's why I say, for you to understand the system of governments that you guys are practicing, you have to go back to the origin. When the United States get independence in 1676, what did happen? They had to invent this process called representative democracy. From what? From what the British used to govern them, which is a governance system that anchors on 3 powers: the royal institution, the church, and the state. So when America get power, they said, what? We will take power from the church, from the royal institution, and give it to the people. That's what House of Representatives is all about. But the power of the state, they never took it. They still realized that's where the Senate come from. That's where they reach. Because if you go back to the Americas that we at the beginning, now only people will get money and land, property, and then they feel votes. Poor people and women are excluded. Okay? So it evolved. So the goal of the American representative democracy is to prevent the majority, who are the poor, from the affluent. So you need to understand the system that you are practicing. So in real sense of it, the Senate House don't represent the average poor Nigerian. They represent institution, they represent special interests within the society. Why the House of Representatives now then represent you. So if you are saying the power belongs to those people, don't go disturb them for office. Go to people who gave them the employment. Now people employ them people for there. Go and meet them. So if you can put your harsh criticism of insult aside, you can just read through your own.
Yes. All right.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. My name is Peter Aka. Peter for Nigeria.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
My grievances. Sir, in certain African countries, there was military coup. Nobody died. In Nigeria, during democratic elections, people died in trying to choose leader. Mahmoud Yakubu received 300 billion to do electronic technology. And on the day of election, after that, they say there was a glitch. After the glitch, they say go to court. Today, Mahmoud Yakubu has been nominated and confirmed to be an ambassador. This level of brazen reward for corruption and criminality is what we have resisted. What Akpabio is doing.
Nah, see, this is where understanding the system come from. That is to tell you, it is a system that was well built, supported by those that matter, home and outside. So, waiting you call the TC come on. That means this thing is above my pay grade. The only way I can actually make impact is to again go back to the people. I like you put it eloquently well. You just analyze the problem. It is the solution you is not able to grasp, and that is because people put them up front.
In the Senate is immoral. Nigerians' vote must count for Nigeria to move forward, because that coalition center is the shrine of INEC election rigging. Shebi Tinubu is the master strategist. They are making bold and giant strides. Who they fear free and fair election? One man, one vote. And if the National Assembly, anybody, politician, who come out to say there is no electronic technology to do elections, the person is a thief. If Nigerian government knows that they do not have enough technology to power elections, they should go and collaborate with terrorists and kidnappers. They should inquire from kidnappers how they are collecting ransom, how they are calling their clients to collect bills. If they know that in 2026 there is no technology, it is available. Our vote will count. And the people are saying this kind of irresponsible leadership by 2027, it must end. Our vote must. Our vote must. Akpabio, you must pass the bill. Simple.
Una vote go count. It will not go.
Why we are here is to show the power of the ballot. That Nigerians have the power to hire and fire. And when you hire, you give the terms of reference. And one of the terms of reference, especially for those at the National Assembly, is to represent us properly. And so because they have not represented us in putting forward what our voices are saying, especially around the electronic transmission of votes, we are here to remind them that we have the votes, we have the ballot, and it is us that decides. People talk about the power of the gavel, but I tell you the power of the ballot is higher than the power of the gavel, because without the ballot there will be no gavel. So it's important that they realize that Nigerians are saying let there be electronic transmission, not just electronic transmission, but also electronic collation of results. Okay, ma'am. The Senate has
how it is. What's your response to that?
But we saw all of that on TV, and that's one thing about live TV. We saw them debating the difference between transfer and transmission. You know that the judgment we had last year is because the court says we cannot use the INEC guidelines to supersede what we have in the Electoral Act in the Constitution. So we want it to be in the Electoral Act so that it becomes something that is justiciable. You can use the result you have on the IREV and present them in court for whatever reason that you have, especially if you have participated in that election. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. We don't know about any allegation. What we are talking about is what emerged from the Senate, and what we're just pulling out is that we want electronic transmission real time. There is nothing like trying to water it down, and so let's continue.
I don't even know what that.
And so we are asking the National Assembly to pass. We want real time transmission, and at the time when it should be, and no reduction of the days, 360 days. Thank you.
Nobody's
a member of National Opposition Movement.
What is your designation?
I'm one of the spokespersons of National Opposition Movement.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are we here?
We are here to tell the National Assembly to make sure that electronic transmission of results from the polling units to the INEC Collation Center is made mandatory, and also to say that it should be a capital offense for anybody to try to mutilate a result, because you know the interference of too many people in the election process That is why the yearning of the transmission of results is being called.
You guys, my
Mind
problem
you,
with these people.
this is a country where we have seen results.
National Assembly. You guys are on different platforms, different national media. They talk every day. This National Assembly, that's how they consume their information. This energy should now be taken to the people that sent them to Abuja. Like, how the fuck is it that even complicated? You don't want, these people are not doing the right. It's not that they don't know what they are doing. They are just playing with your fucking stupidity because they know when I know if you do anything but shout. So take this energy down to the people who sent them to Abuja and see if you know go get the result that you want. Like, what the fuck is wrong with us, man?
What looks like where children are playing with virus. We don't want that to happen in 2027 election. And that's why we said it must be compulsory for every result sheet to be transmitted from the polling unit it was produced into the IRIVE. That's what we're saying. And also, for we at the National Opposition Movement, we're also saying the tax law that they are using currently, what is it? Can we find it? There's no tax law anywhere, but people's money are being deducted. It's been implemented, so that's stealing. We're asking government to stop stealing from Nigerians by taking monies on the name of a tax law. We don't have the law anywhere. And then again, finally, we are making it known to them that if they do not make transmission of results compulsory, the National Opposition Movement will mobilize the whole Nigerians down here. Sit down with them and make sure that they do the right thing. Yes. Yes.
Why is opposition political?
Oh man.
The Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has asked the National Assembly to reverse Senate's position on the Electoral Act Amendment Bill and include a provision making the electronic transmission of election results mandatory. In a statement at the weekend, the National Executive Council, NEC, of the NBA said it adopted this position after considering a report presented by Afam Osigwe, president of the association, at its February 5 meeting in Maiduguri, Borno State. The NBA stance comes amid intense public debate over the Senate's handling of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. APC spokesman Felix Morka announced this on his X handle that the All Progressives Congress has officially crossed the 10 million membership through its ongoing e-registration drive. The party says the remarkable achievement is a testament to its wide acceptability and described it as a historic milestone. Now, the news: King Charles III and Queen Camilla will host Nigeria's president in the country's first state visit to the UK United Kingdom in 37 years. Buckingham Palace has announced as Tinubu's ambassador designates in limbo as host nation's delay. Storms may be brewing for many of President Bola Tinubu's recent nominated ambassadors, who face the prospect of being rejected by host communities due to time constraints on their tenure. High-ranking officials in the presidency and foreign service disclosed that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs was grappling with the challenge of securing agrément, the formal consent of receiving states for the nominees. Joining us on Political Brief to discuss these stories is Arise Director of News and Politics Editor, Somna Sambo. Good morning, and you're most welcome to the morning show today. Somna, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks to our viewers for joining us.
Okay, Somna, what should we expect in your own calculation this morning at the Wadata Plaza, where the Wike-backed faction National Secretary Samuel Anyanwu says they're going to have a meeting now that the fumigation process of that plaza secretariat has ended. And then the Sheyi Makinde-backed Kabiru Turaki SAN-led faction says, well, if anything happens, the police should be held responsible. And then all that talk about the ruling by Justice Agomo in the Ibadan Federal High Court sitting in Ibadan on the November 15 convention. Now, the last time that the two factions met at that Wadata Secretariat, there was plenty of fight with the police in between. Should we expect a big fight today? And then, of course, all the other issues there. The monarch, the king, inviting President Tinubu on a state visit. What do we stand to gain from that? Because the ceremony is not enough. I always say, what do we stand to gain from that? And then, okay, all the other issues that you may want to comment upon, as outlined by Ayo most recently.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abati, and to all of you there. I mean, starting with the PDP issue you raised, I think the police should follow the rule of law by ensuring that the rule of law applies. And what's the rule of law in this instance? Well, it may be very dicey for the police to interpret that rule of law, because here we have a Federal High Court judgment that recognizes, this new leadership of the caretaker committee that's been put in place by Abdurrahman Mohammed, and then you also have the Turaki-led leadership still claiming that, the court went, ultra vires. That is, there was a sort of judicial overreach, because most of the prayers that were asked for were not the prayers that the court granted. The court granted beyond the prayers that were asked for by the Turaki-led committee. And so that there was nowhere where, they asked that the, Abdurrahman Mohammed-led caretaker committee whether it should be recognized or not, but the court then went ahead to recognize them. And so I believe that the police has a legal department that will be able to interpret what should happen. But whether we like it or not, there's a subsisting court judgment, and that court judgment must be obeyed whether we like it or not. But in this instance, if the police actually feel that the threat may affect, the environment there, I think it will be in the interest of the public until all the appeals are exhausted. It is safe for the Wike-led group to actually possess the National Secretariat or not. And of course, if there will be a breakdown of law and order, the police should do their job. We can't teach them their job, but the law is there, the judgments are there, let them use their discretionary powers. Now, going on to the issues that, the other issues that we've raised, let's look at the improving relations between Nigeria and Britain. Actually, it's heartwarming for us to see that our president has been asked to go on a state visit. That's the highest level of visit you can get diplomatically, right? And it means that while we're having issues with the United States of America, the UK is actually warming up to us. So it's heartwarming that Nigeria is actually having very good relations with the UK, cordial relations. But as President Tinubu will be embarking on this visit, let's be very, very careful as to what the United Kingdom is also seeking from us. Because if you look at the last state visit by former military head of state General Ibrahim Babangida in 1989, that visit didn't just come like that. Now, there's a company called Vickers Armstrong that, manufactures battle tanks and all of that. Now, they had, been looking for some ways to actually sell some of their battle tanks that they had, manufactured. And it was a bit difficult for them. They had approached Nigeria sometime around 1981, and we purchased just a very few quantity. But then they kept on pushing. And of course, Margaret Thatcher from 1985 way up till the 90s kept on pressurizing the Nigerian government. And one of the best ways to actually get Nigeria to be able to buy some of these, tanks was to actually invite then military president Ibrahim Babangida, as he likes to call himself. And they got him to get on that state visit in 1989. And guess what? We actually coughed out £282 million to buy those armored tanks. They were called the MK3 tanks. The MK3 tanks were now actually made, specifically for us, and they were known as MK3N Eagle for Nigeria. So you see that state visit did not just happen like that. There was an underlying factor, and Vickers Armstrong actually emerged as one of the greatest beneficiaries. And the British economy, having Nigeria pumping £282 million into it, well, I mean, you understand that it would have boosted the economy. Well, those battle tanks were supplied to Nigeria, about 108 of them, and we kept on using them way up till 2015. I mean, when we deployed some of those MK3 and Eagle battle tanks.